Hi everyone. Yes. Welcome to Sunya IS guys. I hope you guys are doing great. In today's lecture, we will discuss the new part of Swarajist movement, and we also need to discuss something about the non-cooperation movement, because the Swarajist movement started just after the withdrawal of non-cooperation movement. So we need to understand why it was withdrawn by Gandhi ji. Okay. I hope I'm live. I hope it's working fine. Yes. Hello, Dr. Mukesh. Yes, I'm good. Thank you so much for asking. I hope you are also doing great. Okay, so now let's start the session. I just need to discuss few points before I start. See, we need to cover a part of non-cooperation movement which will take only few minutes. Okay. After that, we will come to the new PPT, which is about this one, Swarajists and the constructive work. Okay, which is there written in the topic of this video. But before I come to this, I need to cover few more things with you, and that's why we will start this PPT after 10 minutes. Okay, so just have some patience so that I cover and link this topic with the non-cooperation movement better for you, and it will make it clear for you that how would be the questions in the exam and how could you attempt it. So if you remember, in the last class we had a session before weekends, right? That's why, just for a quick revision, understand what we covered in the last class. If you remember, we discussed Jallianwala Bagh massacre, right? I hope you remember that. You remember it or not? Yes or no? Tell me in the comment box. We covered it. We discussed about the Hunter Committee, and we discussed that how General Dyer misbehaved, and everything about the Congress view, where they had all their own committee. They appointed their own non-official committee. However, it was of no use because they just discussed things, but no result came in the end. And ultimately, General Dyer was free, right? So he was later killed by one of our great leader, Udham Singh, who was hanged later. So we discussed this. Now we need to come to a new chapter now, which is about the First World War and the after effects in India. So basically, just to know the story, and if you don't know the background of world history, you should know this, that why India is linked with the First World War. See, the First World War was between Britain and Germany, and India was colonized by Britishers. So India was dragged into the First World War. However, we didn't participate actively in the direct way, but indirectly we were involved. Why? Because Indian soldiers, Indian men, Indian resources, food grains, clothing, money, everything was used by the Britishers to win the war. And ultimately, Britishers won the First World War against Germany. Germany was with Austria, Hungary, Turkey, right? So there is a simple rule of war. If you win, you impose a war indemnity on the opposite party, right? If you get victory in the war, what you do? You sign a treaty in which you claim on something, and you can reduce the power of other party. So Germany's power was reduced. Okay, there was a Treaty of Versailles imposed on Germany, which was a very humiliating treaty. And due to that humiliation, Second World War got started. And again in the Second World War, India was dragged into the war just because Britishers colonized the India. Clear? Now, in this scenario, what happened when they imposed different treaties on Austria, Hungary, Turkey, and Germany? Turkey is very important for us. Why? Because Turkey, it was a part of Ottoman Empire, right? If you remember, we discussed Ottoman Empire, right? After they conquered Constantinople, the land routes and old sea routes were blocked, and that's why Portuguese had to discover a new sea route to India, right? So that Ottoman Empire. So Turkey was under their control. Now Turkey became independent. What happened with the Turkish Sultan or Khalifa? That his powers were greatly reduced by Britishers. As it's a simple rule of after effects of war. After the end of war, the treaty was signed, and in the treaty, Turkey was very much humiliated. As the Sultan was considered as a leader of the Muslim world in the entire universe, in the entire world, Muslims everywhere, not just in India, but each and every part of world, they considered this Turkish Sultan as their religious head, religious guru, religious head. Okay, and he was also a political head in the Turkey area. So what happened with him? His powers were reduced. So taking away the power of Khalifa and humiliating Khalifa, somehow disrespecting Khalifa by taking away his political rights, it really upset the Muslims. Okay. So entire Muslim population in the world was extremely upset about the fact that their Khalifa is getting humiliated. So Muslims in India, they again, due to getting upset due to this particular thing, they just started a Khilafat movement. So Muslims in India started Khilafat movement to support their Khalifa. Okay. Now, Gandhiji knew that Muslims are very, very angry right now. They are against Britishers, and Muslims will take all these steps to go against the Britishers. They will lead a movement. So Gandhiji knew that Muslims are already here with us. So he thought to just utilize this opportunity to include Hindus also. Now, why Hindus will join? This is not a Hindu cause. This is a Muslim cause. Sultan is for Muslims. It is not for Hindus. So, Sultan was important for Muslims, but for Hindus, Gandhiji was important, right? So, to support Sultan, Khilafat movement was started, but to support Gandhiji, other Hindus and different communities of India joined, because Gandhiji was also like a Khalifa for Indian Hindus. Clear? And now in this situation, when Gandhiji wanted support of Hindus, now they changed the name of Khilafat movement into non-cooperation movement. So Gandhiji started calling it a full-fledged non-cooperation movement of India, not just Muslims, but Hindus and all other communities in India who wanted to go against Britishers. They wanted a free India. They wanted self-rule. We wanted self-rule. So till now, we are still demanding about the self-rule. We will demand the self-rule till 1929. After 1929, we will ask for complete independence. Not only self-rule, we will ask for complete independence. But we are not at 1929 right now. Okay, we are in 1920s, early part of 1920s. So this is something which is happening in 1920s, first of all. So you need to make a very small clarity in your mind that you are here right now. Okay, we need to reach till the independence of India. Only this part of modern history is remaining. In between, what will happen in 1929, we will declare complete independence as our goal. Basically, Congress will declare it. When I say as our goal, R means Indian. Okay, when I say we wanted it, we means Indians. Okay, against Britishers right now. It's a fight. Now, in 1920s, what we started non-cooperation movement. Gandhiji thought that already Muslims are there with us in the Khilafat movement. If I will change the name and if I'll include the Hindus, it will become a full-fledged non-cooperation movement. So non-cooperation movement was going on. Due to the non-cooperation movement, what happened? See, these things are not written in the books. This is an analysis which you get after reading books multiple times or after reading multiple books with correlating different topics. You will understand it. Okay, understand a fact here that we just don't need to read and study the non-cooperation movement. It is already written in your book. Understand the feeling and emotions. Try to read between the lines here. What was happening? During the non-cooperation movement, we all got motivated. Means Indians got motivated, especially youngsters. Okay, youngsters like Bhagat Singh. Bhagat Singh was a child at that time. So he was a young child. He was very much motivated. Bhagat Singh and so many other leaders, revolutionary leaders. Okay, revolutionary leaders, young leaders, they were extremely happy and motivated that yes, now Gandhiji is full angry, and he is against the Rowlatt Act also. And when he saw the Jallianwala massacre, now he is actively opposing Britishers. He understood that Britishers could never modernize India, they are only exploiting. Gandhiji understood the real face of Britishers. Yes, Gandhiji is with us. Yes, we will get the self rule. This motivation was there. Okay, because Gandhiji was directly opposing Britishers for the very first time. Because till now Gandhiji thought, before Rowlatt Act and before Jallianwala Bagh massacre, before all that Hatyakand, Gandhiji used to believe that Britishers will always help Indians to grow, and then international relation will help us flourish later. So he was always in a very moderate way, in a very moderate viewpoint, and he was always behaving very nicely and, you know, coolly, calmly with Britishers, as if he is always in support of Britishers in the First World War. But when he understood the real face and started non-cooperation movement, we got motivated. Bhagat Singh got motivated. Sukhdev got motivated. Rajguru got motivated. So many other revolutionary leaders and young leaders, they thought that now we will get the self-rule because Gandhiji is here. Now this is the time that we will slap these Britishers and will let them quit the India very soon. This hope was very big. But do you know what is the problem? We Indians are very emotional, and we really don't like overcommitment, right? When somebody promises something and if it never happens, then it is like a betrayal, it is like a breaking of heart. So our hearts were shattered, Indians were shattered when Gandhiji withdrew the non-cooperation movement. So leaders like Bhagat Singh, Sukhdev, Rajguru and all those young revolutionary leaders, they thought that they have been betrayed. They thought that their hearts are shattered, their hope was shattered. They thought that a promise was not taken, and they thought that why Gandhiji is doing this, why he is just, just because of a small incident he just withdrew the movement. They became more angry, they became more revolutionary, they became ultra revolutionary, and they started their new phase of revolutionary movements, the second phase of revolutionary movement, just because of feeling betrayed, just because that they felt like Gandhiji himself is not able to get the self rule. He himself withdrew the non cooperation movement. So it was a great anger. Now we need to understand how this anger came, why the Chauri Chaura incident happened. Understand, before 1920, what was happening? Already 1914 to 1918 is the time of First World War, right? First World War. So in the World War One, Britishers, they, somehow put a lot of pressure on Indian resources. So a lot of famines and different problematic situations were there in India. So inflation was high. Due to inflation, what happened? Inflation in India, people started protesting. And see, the problem is when it comes to your daily life, when it comes to food grains, daily groceries, day to day things, people became more angry because everything was getting expensive. So they started protesting against the inflation. There was a protest going by Bhagwan Ram Ahir. Okay, so Bhagwan Ahir was also protesting. He got arrested. So people got angry. Why you arrested our leaders? And that's why they just lit fire on the Chauri Chaura police station. This is the reason of the Chauri Chaura incident. Now let's understand how it started. As we have discussed about the Jallianwala Bagh massacre, we understood that Congress also, they had a non-official committee. But after this, they understood that they had to condemn everything done by the Britishers. Now, during the First World War, Turkey got defeated because Germany, Turkey, Austria, Hungary, they all were together. They were central powers, they all were defeated. So, central powers were defeated by the elite powers in the First World War. After the defeat, Turkey had a lead with Germany and Austria against the British. So, it had to get into that humiliating treaty. So, when the war ended, British took a stern attitude, a very strict and very humiliating attitude towards the Turkey. So Turkey was dismembered and the Khalifa got removed from the power. Khalifa was the religious head of entire Muslim population of the world. This somehow incensed Muslims. It made Muslims very upset and angry all over the world. So in India also, Muslims demanded from Britishers two things. First, that Khalifa's control over Muslim sacred places should be retained, because it's very important for them that their holy places are with them. Second, Khalifa should be left with sufficient territories after territorial arrangements. He should get some political rights and territorial rights. So these two demands were there in the Khilafat agitation. But Britishers never wanted to listen to anyone. So in early 1990s, a Khilafat committee was formed. There was a committee. As I told you, whenever there is a problem, we make a committee. Even today, if you start protesting against the government, what will government do? They will make a committee. And the committee will do the research, analysis, and committee will submit the report. On the basis of that report, government will make the law. Okay? So government can also reject all the recommendations of committee. Government can accept the recommendation of committee. Fine. Khilafat committee was formed. It was formed under the leadership of Ali brothers. Two brothers are there, Shaukat Ali and Muhammad Ali. This is not Muhammad Ali Jinnah. Don't get confused. He is not Jinnah. He is Shaukat Ali, only Muhammad Ali and Shaukat Ali. Okay. Other leaders were also there. Maulana Azad, Ajmal Khan, Hasrat Mohani, and all these leaders, all these names are very big names. Okay, big Muslim leaders of India at that time. So why they were being, forming this committee, and what they wanted? They wanted to force the British government. Okay, they wanted to force the British government to change its attitude towards Turkey, because Turkish Sultan was the religious head. Thus, the ground for a countrywide agitation was prepared. A ground was prepared, a platform was already prepared for Gandhiji. Gandhiji used this platform, he utilized it. He developed the Khilafat movement into non-cooperation movement by aligning Hindus also. For some time, Khilafat leaders limited their actions to meetings only, like a simple phase, a moderate phase, meetings, prayer, petition, deputation, everything in favor of the Khilafat. Okay, खिलाफ, किसी के खिलाफ जाना, खिलाफ. Okay, non-cooperation. It is a Hindi version of non-cooperation, you can say. और हम उर्दू लफ्ज है ये एक तरह से non-cooperation का, आप समझ लीजिए. Later, however, a militant trend emerged. Militant means aggressive. Okay, aggressive trend demanding an active agitation, such as stopping all cooperations with the British. What do you mean by cooperation? Cooperation is, if let's say I want to shake hands with you, you will also give your hands. If you are not giving your hands, if you are resisting, that is non-cooperation. Okay, कई बार नर्स जब इंजेक्शन लगाती है, what they say कि cooperate करो, हिलो मत, वरना इंजेक्शन इधर उधर लग जाएगा. Please cooperate with us. So cooperation is going and supporting something, behaving in a good way. Non-cooperation, not behaving, okay, not helping, not supporting the government, not following the rules of government, okay, boycotting the government, boycotting the British good is non-cooperation. Thus, at All India Khilafat Conference, there was a conference, All India Khilafat Conference, which happened in Delhi. So in this conference in November 1919, a call was made. For what? To boycott the British goods. Why? Boycott the British goods means what? What will it do? If you boycott something, what will happen? It will lead to a economic degradation in the Britain. Because why? See, at that time, after the First World War, what happened? And during the First World War also, we saw that there was a tariff war going on. What do you mean by tariff war? Understand this. You will learn these things once you read the world history. But in short, I'll just tell you to make things clear for you. Tariff war is each and every country, like Britain and other European countries, they wanted to do export, but resisted import. Okay, they were saying don't import, don't buy things from any other country, but sell your things, your materials, your machine made goods to other countries. Why? Because exports means selling. Export matlab hai bechna, sell karna. Import means buying. Now, understand. You will say, but buying is also fine. I love shopping, I love to buy. If I'm buying something, I'm spending my money, then I'll get something. That's fine for me. But when you spend your money, you lose your money, no? It's like losing your savings. It's like spending on something. And if it is an imported good, if the good is made by some other country, then you will give money to other country if you are importing, right? But if you sell something, if your country is selling something, let's say India is right now having a weak secondary sector. The manufacturing sector is very, very weak in India right now, due to which we are importing more and exporting less. So the balance of trade is very negative. But at that time, India had a very good positive balance of trade. In the ancient times and even in the medieval times, we were self-sufficient country. So the Atmanirbhar Bharat was already there in India. We never had to buy anything from the Britishers except few luxury goods and sweet wine. Other than that, we had everything in India. So we only used to export. So we used to sell things. We used to get money. But right now, we are doing what in India? Importing and importing, not exporting. Very less export is there because we don't have a manufacturing sector, which is a good high level of manufacturing. It is there, but it is very weak. Okay, if you compare it with China and any other developed country, we have a weak manufacturing sector. So the problem was that if we stop buying the British goods, we will stop giving them money because we won't buy anything. So if Britishers will not receive money, it would be a economic problem for them. And with by facing this economic problem, they will become frustrated and they will leave India. This plan was there in our mind. We thought like this. So now Muslim League supported Congress. That wow, Congress is doing very nice. They are boycotting, they are planning for non-cooperation. So Muslim League also decided to give full support. First of all, why Muslim League came here? Because Khilafat movement was all about Muslims and Muslim League was also about Muslims. So they decided to come together to support Congress and its agitation on the political question. They all came together and they thought that yes, we can have a non-cooperation movement. So, such a hypothetical situation it is when Congress is also working nicely. Gandhi ji also joined. Muslims are also there. Hindus are together, and the Muslim League is also supporting Congress. It's just an imaginary situation, the best situation of a movement in India at that time, right? It was best, but something happened. You know that there is a saying that good times and bad times, they don't remain. It is always changing. Time will always change. So if it is a good time for you, don't be too happy because you will somehow lose it later. You don't know the future. In future, everything won't be good and perfect every day. And if you are having a bad time, it will also pass. So it will always pass. This situation was always there. And yes, the good time passed. All of them together fighting against Britishers. Britishers were also worried that now they all are together. They will get the self rule and we would not be able to resist it anymore because non cooperation movement was going on its peak. So February 1920, in early 1920s, what happened? A joint Hindu-Muslim deputation was sent to the Viceroy. What? To seek redress of grievances. They wanted to get some answers on the issue of Khilafat movement. But mission proved abortive. Nothing happened. Then in February 1920, Gandhiji thought that the issues of Punjab wrongs means the Jallianwala Bagh massacre and arresting the leaders like Saifuddin Kichlu. Constitutional advance had been overshadowed by Khilafat question, and he would soon lead a movement of non-cooperation if the terms of peace treaty failed to satisfy the Indian Muslims. So he already gave a warning to the Britishers that either you do a good treaty with the Turkey and satisfy Indian Muslims, or I will launch a movement, non-cooperation movement. So he got no answers from the government. So in May 1920, the Treaty of Sivers with Turkey was signed, which proved to be very much problematic. It was signed in May 1920. It completely dismembered Turkey and humiliated Khalifa. Because of this, what happened in June 1920, an all party conferences happened in which everyone came together, all the leaders were there at Allahabad, and they said, okay, we will start the non cooperation movement, so let's make a plan, step by step approach. First, we will boycott all the schools. Our kids will not go to the schools made by the Europeans. We will not go to the colleges. Indians will not go to the law courts, and asked Gandhiji to lead it. So Gandhiji became the face of this movement. In 31st August 1920, Khilafat Committee started a campaign of non-cooperation because Khilafat Committee was already there. It was led by Ali brothers, right? Shaukat Ali and Muhammad Ali, right? So these two brothers and other leaders, they decided that we will always support Gandhiji, and we will also say that, okay, we are having a non-cooperation movement. So the movement was formally launched. Tilak had incidentally breathed his last on 1st August 1920. Okay, so remember this also, it's a very important fact. August 31st and 1st August. Now, what happened? Because of the death of Tilak, somehow people got more angry, right? So they had all the kinds of problems and frustrations in their mind. In September 1920, at a special session in the Calcutta, Congress approved a non-cooperation program. Till the Punjab and Khilafat wrongs were removed and Swaraj was established. Swaraj means self-rule was established. So the program was to include few points. First, boycott of government schools and colleges and boycott of law courts and dispensation of justice through panchayat instead, because if the law courts will not work, then people will face a lot of crime. So at that situation, to somehow control it, panchayats will work. Clear? You guys need to support me in the comment section. You don't know that how much energy I get when you like the video, when you comment nicely. I personally read each and every comment, okay? And when I see that you guys are really liking and loving the session, I feel like coming back again live for you, because see, a lot of resources, a lot of time and energy it needs to come live, you know. And we are trying to have a live platform. We are trying to convert it at a live way. Why? Because it will be great to interact with you. Other courses and other subjects will also come if you support this course. Otherwise we will think that it's better to just upload the recording and give you videos and small videos. For the very first time, we have launched a full-fledged daily lecture series on Sunya's platform, and we want to launch more courses like this. For that, you need to support us and motivate us daily. Okay, daily you need to do it. Please share it, please like it, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Now come to the topic again. Spread of the movement happened. Gandhiji was accompanied by Ali brothers. He took a nationwide tour. He went everywhere, he met people, he wanted to motivate everyone. So thousands of students left government schools and colleges and joined around 800 national schools and colleges which cropped up during this time. So see how active was the movement. Simultaneously things happened. It is always like when you work for something, the universe works for you. These educational institutions were organized under leadership of Acharya Narendra Dev, C.R. Das, Lala Lajpat Rai, Zakir Hussain, Subhash Chandra Bose, who became the principal of National College at Calcutta. At included Jamia Millia at Aligarh, Kashi Vidyapeeth, Gujarat Vidyapeeth, Bihar Vidyapeeth. All these Vidyapeeths were there. All these colleges were there. There is a question by S.K. Anil Verma. How to learn name and long term. Okay, I'll tell you how to learn things. I'll give you a strategy in the end of the video. Just wait for some time. I'll discuss a learning strategy with you guys so that you memorize all these points in a good way and write it in your exams. But after the end of the topic, means in the end of the session, I'll discuss. Don't worry. You are right, Abhishek? Fine. Here I can see a comment that intentions of Britishers in Jallianwala Bagh was just to contain local issue in Amritsar, or they were trying to send a message to INC Pan India that they can suppress any movement. See, basically they wanted to send a message also. It is right that somehow they wanted to make us fearful. They wanted Indians to stop, but it angered Indians more. Now listen to the last phase. So, see, non-cooperation movement was going on. The Ahmedabad session in 1921, presided over incidentally by C.R. Das while still in jail. Hakim Ajmal Khan was the acting president at that time. They appointed Gandhiji as the sole authority in this issue. So, on the 1st February 1922, see, 1st February, remember the date, 1st February, Gandhiji threatened to launch the civil disobedience from Bardoli, Gujarat, if political prisoners were not released and press controls were not removed. The movement had hardly begun before it was brought to an abrupt end. Why? Because see, 1st February 1922, and look at the date of the Chori Chora incident, 5th February. Only 5 days. Only 5 days. Right? It's very easy to remember. भूलोगे नहीं आप ये. Easy है याद रखना. Right? Because look at the date, 5th February 1922. 5 दिन हुए नहीं, movement खत्म हो गया. Movement was ended within the 5 days. How? The police here had beaten up the leader of a group of volunteers. The leader's name was Bhagwan Ahir. Bhagwan Ahir was beaten up. He was arrested. Other leaders were also beaten up. So, basically the group of volunteers who were campaigning against the liquor sale and the high food prices of daily food grains and groceries, they were against inflation. Okay, they were against the liquor sale. They wanted to ban it. So they just, they became very, very violent because their leaders were arrested. They were protesting. There was a kind of lathi charge and an argument was there. So they just opened a fire on the crowd which had come to protest before the police station. So the agitation crowd torched the police station. They burnt the police station, and because of this burning, with policemen inside who had been sheltered there, those who tried to flee were hacked to death and thrown back into the fire, due to which few policemen died. Now 22 policemen were killed. 22 policemen were killed. How will you remember 22? Because the date is 1922. ऐसे याद रहेगा. It was the year 1922 and 22 policemen died. This is a trick to remember things. Try to remember the words and the dates which are similar. It will help you in connecting the dots. Now, Gandhiji was not happy with this incident because he saw that it's a violent thing. He thought that it can increase the violent trend because see, what happens when you see a small violence somewhere, it somehow motivates other violent people and it gives a chain reaction. We call it a domino effect. Okay, let's say, have you seen people doing yoga in park and sometimes old old guys, what they do, they start laughing. It's like a laughter therapy. In a yoga session, you must have seen it. What happens there? There is no reason to laugh. But once a person starts laughing, then other person also laughs. Then other person will also laugh. The entire group will start laughing. They start by smiling, and then they started with a fake laughter, ha ha ha, and then other people, they also start laughing, and ultimately they end up laughing in reality. Okay, so they start faking the laughter and then they end up laughing in real, and they feel very happy after laughing. Right? It's a laughter therapy. What happens in this therapy? It's a domino effect. When you see someone laughing or doing something, you also feel like doing the same. When you see a celebrity following a certain type of clothing brand or a fashion style, you get influenced and you also follow the same. You means I'm not pointing on you personally. You means general public. General public, they like it. They follow something. So as Gandhiji was leading the movement and he was the face of non-cooperation, within that movement phase something violent happened, so it could be taken by the violent people and masses that as if Gandhiji is also somehow indirectly supporting the Chori Chora incident, as he can always support these kind of things and he can tolerate it. But Gandhiji wanted to send a clear message to Indians that I won't tolerate it. Don't do it. Never do it again. Otherwise, I will withdraw the movement. I will sit back. So if you want to lead, if you want me to lead something, then you need to stay non-violent. So this was a message by Gandhiji and he immediately announced the withdrawal of the movement. But this announcement of withdrawal made revolutionaries and youngsters very upset, who had a high hope that Gandhiji will give us self-rule, we will get the self-rule. But ultimately they got nothing. When they got nothing, they became angry, they became revolutionary, they started a militant trend, they became very aggressive, and with that aggression, we got leaders like Bhagat Singh, Sukhdev, Rajguru, Chandrasekhar Azad, Subhash Chandra Bose, right? So why these leaders were angry? Why ultimately they could not resist to go against Britishers? Because they had already seen this withdrawal. The Congress Working Committee, they met at Bardoli in February 1922. And they were there to, resolve something. So they said, okay, we will stop all the activity that led to the breaking of law and to get down to constructive work. Why? Because the movement was ended. So instead, which was the include popularization of khadi, national school, campaigning for temperance, for Hindu-Muslim unity, against untouchability, means good social well-being would be followed by us. We will try to unite people again, and same old constructive work would be done. They were already doing constructive work even before the non-cooperation movement, but after the withdrawal of the movement, they had no other option. They had no other work to do because Gandhiji was not leading the movement anymore. He said that we are withdrawing it. The movement was ended. After the end of non-cooperation, there was no new work to do. So they decided to just start the constructive work so that they give it a cooling phase. A cooling period is always required to settle down things, to make people realize that they had committed a mistake by being violent, and violence is against the Gandhi's principle. So with Satya and Ahimsa only Gandhiji will come, otherwise Gandhiji will not come. Okay. So people understood, people realized, and leaders also realized that we should not protect those who are with violence. Now Gandhiji, he was like, okay, fine, we can, start this constructive work. You always need to write this in the exam. Meaning of constructive work. Constructive work is equal to popularizing khadi. It is the popularization of national school, campaign for the temperance, Hindu-Muslim unity, and untouchability. Against untouchability, basically. Okay, they are saying we should not follow untouchability. Now, what happened? Most of the nationalist leaders, especially young leaders, they said, what is this? Gandhiji, with just a small thing, he ended the big movement. Entire nation was involved. Even Muslim League was in support of Congress. So everyone like C.R. Das, Motilal Nehru, Subhash Chandra Bose, Jawaharlal Nehru, they were not happy with this decision. They expressed their bewilderment at Gandhi's decision, and they said that this withdrawal is not right. In March 1922, Gandhiji was arrested because of that Chauri Chaura incident, as he was the face of the movement. So he was arrested and sentenced to 6 years in jail. Now remember that from 1922, 6 years Gandhiji will be in jail according to this statement, right? So try to calculate 6 here, okay? Plus 6 means 1928. Because after 1928, what will we do? We will demand complete independence. So this 6 year jail was there. Now Gandhiji, he made the occasion memorable by a magnificent court speech. He said, I am here Therefore, to invite and submit cheerfully to the highest penalty that can be inflicted upon me for what in law is deliberate crime, and what appears to me to be the highest duty of a citizen. So he was saying that it is my duty to go in jail, to get arrested for my country. So this is my duty as a citizen. Okay, because it may be a deliberate crime in the eyes of the law, in the eyes of the British government, but it is my duty to do this. So why Gandhi withdrew the movement? Gandhi felt like people didn't learn or fully understand the method of non-violence, which he already practiced in South Africa. And incidents like Chauri Chaura could lead to the kind of excitement and fervor, a fire that would turn the movement to become generally violent. So that's why he never wanted it to be a violent movement and he withdrew. Now we have understood everything. Let's come to the new topic, okay, which is there written in your title today, which is Swarajist and Constructive Works 1922 to 29. So, what is the importance of the date of 1922? You already know that it was the date of end of non-cooperation movement due to Chauri Chaura incident, end of non-cooperation. For 6 years, Gandhiji was imprisoned. In 1929, what happened? We declared complete independence. Remember this. This is a time period of 7 years. 7 years, what will Congress do? What will other leaders do? Congress and other leaders, they will do constructive work. Constructive work. Okay? Campaigning for khadi, motivating people to be equal, to help each other, Hindu-Muslim unity, good social well-being, going against untouchability, all these things would be there in the constructive work. Now, this is a 7 years of time. You need to understand here, Swarajists and their constructive work. Swarajists means leaders. Our Congress leaders, they wanted to follow it. Now understand, what is this period? It saw the emergence of a new trend, the trend of Swarajists in the Indian politics. So they used to call themselves Swaraj Party. It is a part of Congress party only, you can say. It was not a new party. ठीक है, तो कंफ्यूज नहीं होना है. स्वराज पार्टी क्या है? ये एक पार्टी है बट कांग्रेस पार्टी के अंदर ही है. Within the Congress only, few leaders thought that we can have our own Swaraj party. It was with the leadership of Motilal Nehru and C.R. Das. C.R. Das is very, very important. Important here, he is a very important leader. With the twin aim of council entry and constructive work. Twin aim means इनके दो aim है. पहला council entry. What is council entry? Council entry is getting government posts. Okay, ministerial posts in the legislative and executive assemblies of the government. So they wanted to have council entry, means they wanted to participate in the election. They said that we should get inside the government functionary, and if we will just do the non-cooperation, it would be of no use. So if we want to go against the Britishers, if we want to stop Britishers, then what we should do is, let's be a part of this British government and resist them from inside. Not let them do anything against India, and work for Indians by being inside the government, by having and holding the post, by winning the election for India. Okay? Now, these two aims were there. Leaders. Chittaranjan Das, who was popularly known as Desh Bandhu, he joined Anushilan Samiti and Pramatnath Mitra. With Pramatnath Mitra, he just thought to join the Anushilan Samiti. What is Anushilan Samiti here? Understand. Anushilan Samiti is a revolutionary group. It is a Samiti. It is an organization. So it was an organization for revolution. Okay, they were against Britishers. So Chittaranjan Das, who was also known as Deshbandhu, with Pramarthnath Mitra, joined the Anushilan Samiti. And in 1909, what they did, he successfully defended Aurobindo Ghosh in Alipur conspiracy case in 1919, which happened. And he started the newspaper Forward and later changed its name to Liberty. Remember the names of newspapers. Remember the name Deshbandhu for prelims. Okay, because in prelims sometimes they indirectly ask you these factual topics. We know that with all these years, it is getting tougher and tougher to crack prelims because it is being factual plus dynamic in nature. So remember, Chittaranjan Das is Deshbandhu. Fine. Chittaranjan Das is Deshbandhu. And he started a newspaper Forward, which was later changed its name to Liberty. Now, Motilal Nehru was also a very important leader here. Motilal Nehru, he started the Daily Independent and participated actively in non-cooperation movement, but he criticized the Gandhi's decision to withdraw the movement after the Chauri Chaura incident because he wanted Gandhiji to continue, as it was very hard to get all of them together, all the leaders together on a single table. Somehow the movement was ended. So these this Swarajist party, Swaraj party, they wanted what? Council entry and constructive work. So they advocated for council entry, and it was led by C.R. Das, Motilal Nehru and Ajmal Khan. They wanted to end or mend. End or mend means either end this council, don't go with it anymore, or mend it according to our own ways. Why? No intention of transforming colonial rule. What does it mean? You may think that now our own Indian leaders, they became politicians. They are doing dirty politics. They want to get post and power. No, they never wanted to get post and power. Understand? The politics which you see today in India, the dirty politics sometimes, is something very different from the politics of this 1922. Because at that time, all those leaders who came forward to join and participate in the election, they had a clear intention to get independence for India and go against Britishers, defeat Britishers. So they wanted to fight. And that's why, to fight against Britishers, they fought elections. It was not to get power, they were not greedy at all. Clearly understand this. They were not greedy. They just wanted to understand the governance, the system, and get the system in their hand to get independence of India. So C.R. Das announced formation of Congress Khilafat Swaraj Party. Why? Because Khilafat movement was there. Non-cooperation movement was already going on, and they knew that Congress Khilafat Swaraj Party will include Muslims and Hindus all in one party. So a new party was formed. Congress Khilafat Swaraj Party, or the Swaraj Party, which was a part or a arm of Congress itself. In 1923, C.R. Das with himself, he as a president, and Motilal Nehru as a secretary, made this Swaraj Party. Now, when this Swaraj Party was formed, Gandhiji was like, you should not go and fight election, and by getting the post, you may become greedy later. So, I'm just afraid as if it is right or wrong. Gandhiji was confused. But later, Gandhiji also understood that this is not a dirty politics. These people were not greedy. They wanted to work for India, and that's why they wanted to join. As they had no other option to join other than any other government, they had to come within the British government only. So they had no other choice. So two types of Swarajist leaders came. One, responsivists, and second, non-responsivists. So Swaraj Party is an arm of Congress. C.R. Das was the president, Motilal Nehru was the secretary, and responsivist leaders were like Lala Lajpat Rai, Madan Mohan Malviya, N.C. Kelkar, and they wanted cooperation with the government, and they all also had a Hindu interest in their mind. Okay, they wanted a cooperation with the government. Cooperation means we will ask government to let us fight election and let us go inside the governance and system, so that with peace and love we will be a part of this British government, and then we will kick out the Britishers later. Okay, but non-responsivists, they were saying, withdrew from legislatures, did not contest the election. They were like, no, we cannot become part of this British government. This government is wrong. If we want to go and fight an election, we will do it in an independent India. This is a British India. So Britain and Indian leaders can never come together. So non-responsivists were saying that we will just go out from the legislature. We will not contest the elections. So now who will win? Will the elections are going to be there? Are they participating or not? Yes. Ultimately, they will decide to participate. Responsivists, they will win this debate and they will make everyone agree that we should participate. Now understand why Gandhiji and other leaders wanted to resist this election, and they never wanted Swaraj Party to get inside the governance. Understand, they were no changers. No changers means don't go in the governance. No government, no Indians in the governance, no participation, no alignment with Britain. So C. Rajgopalachari, Vallabhbhai Patel, Rajendra Prasad, M.A. Ansari, they opposed council entry. They advocated concentration only on the constructive work. मतलब खादी खादी करते रहो, खादी का नारा लगाओ. Just popularize khadi and popularize the Hindu-Muslim unity. Just popularize the constructive work. Don't contest election. Continue the boycott of the British goods and continue the non-cooperation against the government. Not the non-cooperation movement, because it was already ended. Non-cooperation with the government in general way. In a special session of Congress, which was held in Delhi in September 1923 at Delhi, the Congress suspended all propaganda against council entry and permitted congressmen to stand as candidates and exercise their franchise in forthcoming elections. As I told you, that responsivists got this victory in debate. They made everyone understand that we should participate in election, we will win, we will get the council entry, and if there is any propaganda which is against council entry, then this propaganda should be suspended. Don't do this propaganda. Don't go against the council entry. We should go in the council. We should fight for Indians. We should make laws for Indians. We can make a Indian government. Now, Gandhiji initially was not happy. But later, he said, okay, if Swaraj Party, C.R. Das, Motilal Nehru and other leaders want to fight, then they can go. Let them go. Let them do whatever they want. So Gandhi was initially opposing the Swarajists, but after the release from jail, he gradually reconciled with Swarajists. So both sides, they came to an agreement on 1924 and they said, okay, we can, have a single level of understanding that we will fight the election. They endorsed it in Belgaum session, December 1924, over which Gandhi for the only time presided. Only time presided. So this is again very, very important for prelims. Now understand, how will you remember this? बेलगाम, अगर थोड़ी सी हिंदी आती है तो बेलगाम कह सकते हो इसको. ठीक है, बेलगाम, जिसपे लगाम ना हो. मतलब कांग्रेस पे अब गांधी जी ने लगाम हटा दी कि कोई लगाम नहीं है, तुम बेलगाम हो, जाओ और लड़ो इलेक्शन, बन जाओ सरकार का हिस्सा. बेलगाम कर दिया कांग्रेस को, लगाम हटा दी, कोई लगाम नहीं है तो बेलगाम. ऐसे याद रखो, गांधी जी ने बेलगाम किया कांग्रेस को. गांधी जी endorsed it at Belgaum. So similar words, easy to remember. Okay, in Belgaum session what happened? कांग्रेस बेलगाम हो गई. बेलगाम सेशन हुआ था, स्पेशल सेशन. It was endorsed at Belgaum session in December 1924. Those of you South Indians, if you guys don't know Hindi, understand that Belgaum is a Hindi word. I hope it is a Hindi word, right? Not a Urdu word. मेरी खुद की हिंदी और उर्दू बहुत अच्छी नहीं है, but I hope it is like that. Okay, Hindi word है Belgaum. So understand, Belgaum session December 1924, over which Gandhi for the only time presided. एक ही बार इसी टाइम प्रिसाइड किया और कभी प्रिसाइड नहीं किया उन्होंने. Can you see the date 1924? Means he came out of the jail. 6 साल पहले ही आ गए. He was already free by the government. So he just presided. Now understand what will happen. These Swarajists, they will do some activities. Okay, they had some intentions to be a part of government. Okay, Swaraj party was a party, it was a faction within the Congress. Okay, Abhishek, I hope your doubt is clear. Fine, those of you जिन्होंने like नहीं किया, please like the session guys and share it with your friends. And if you have any doubts, you can comment down. I will read your doubts later. Don't worry. Now, come to the topic back again. Swarajists, they started some activities. They wanted to do some activities. So, they wanted the policy of uniform and continuous and consistent obstruction to wreck the reforms and to weaken the British government within is comparable to method of sabotage. Means what? They are saying that it's not easy to work from outside and ask government to do something. It's good to be a part of government and be inside and do something for the country. So now many of the leaders were like, no, we are no changers, we can't go like this, we will not fight the election. So a split happened among the Swarajists themselves, and it was somehow on a communal and a responsivist line. Responsivists, they were saying that we want to fight election, and non-responsivists, they were saying we don't want to fight the election. The responsivists were Lala Lajpat Rai, M.M. Malviya, N.C. Kelkar. They advocated cooperation with the government, wanted to go in the office wherever possible. They also wanted to protect Hindu interests. They also wanted to participate in the election. So in 1930, Swarajists finally walked out as a result of Lahore Congress resolution on Purna Swaraj. Why? Because they were not getting any response from the government. Vallabhbhai Patel was elected Speaker of Central Legislative Assembly in 1925. This is also a very important fact which you need to remember. Okay, he was elected Speaker of Central Legislative Assembly within the British government. Vallabhbhai Patel, elected Speaker. Elected means they fought election, they got victory, and Vallabhbhai Patel became Speaker. See, V. Raghavachari, he moved a resolution demanding provincial autonomy and dominion status for India. Dominion status is Swaraj, self-rule. In 1928, government was defeated on the Public Safety Bill, by which government proposed to deport undesirable and subversive foreigners. Okay? Somehow government wanted to deport undesirable and subversive foreigners, but in this way here what happened was these foreigners somehow helped Indians also against Britishers. So Britishers never wanted any NRIs or other people to come and participate in the internal matters of India. So just to be safe, government decided to have this public safety bill, but it was defeated. So all these works were extremely commendable by these leaders inside the government, without being greedy, without doing dirty politics. They really worked for India. Okay. Now, when these Swarajist leaders and responsivist leaders were there in the election and in the governance, after winning, after getting post, what was done by the no changers? What will these people do? What will these leaders do? they thought to run ashrams. They were doing good things in the society. So many ashrams came up where young men and women worked among tribal peoples and low caste people, particularly in Gujarat, Kheda, Bardoli areas, popularizing the use of charkha and khadi. Okay, national schools and colleges were established, and it was to train students in a non-colonial ideological framework to give them idea against Britishers. Progress was there towards Hindu-Muslim unity and the abolition of untouchability, the boycott of foreign cloth and liquor, and a lot of flood relief was also done, because at that time many flood and famine like situations were there. So they used to distribute medicines, food, clothing, and money. They used to support poor people and help them with food, grains, groceries, and these things. Okay, so they were helping and doing the basic work with the people, among the masses, to get socialize with the people, to connect with the people. So you can say that pro changers and no changers, both of them, they worked very nicely. Pro changers, responsivist leaders participated in the election, got administrative posts, and got a lot of things done in the government, like we have covered here. Okay, all these things they did. They moved resolution demanding the provincial autonomy and dominion status. They were against public safety bill. They were working very hard inside the governance. But other leaders who were not there inside the governance also helped the society, Indian society, to grow, develop, unite, and connect with each other. Okay, so a double connection was made. It was a strong connection. It helped us achieve complete independence later. There was a Muddiman committee in 1924, which is important for prelims. Remember, in this committee, what happened? It investigated the issue of diarchy. Diarchy, the rule of two. When was diarchy introduced? Do you remember? It was introduced in Montagu-Chelmsford Reform in 1919. Okay, so it was introduced by the Government of India Act 1919, Montagu-Chelmsford Reform or Montford Reform. Do you remember diarchy? Who will tell me in the comments what is diarchy? Tell me. Let me have some water. I would like to see your comments. What do you mean by diarchy? Let's have a 1 minute break. Till then, you can write about diarchy. Yes, Viresh, Jogandar, you are very nice. Transferred and reserved. आपने spelling गलत लिखी है विरेश. Transferred subjects and reserved subjects. लेकिन ये subjects के हैं. डायकी नहीं है. Diarchy is the rule of two. Okay? Rule of two. That is diarchy. Clear? So it was performed by transferred and reserved subject by keeping few things under the governor's control and few things under the minister's control. And ministers were responsible to the government, as there was a provision of no confidence motion. But no confidence motion was only there in provinces, not in the central assembly. I hope you remember that. Clear? Yes, Vignesh, you are right. One under the control of governor and other under the elected leaders. Not provincially elected, Vignesh, but you can simply write ministers here, because many of them were not completely and directly elected. Sometimes they were indirectly elected, sometimes they were nominated. So you just use the word ministers. Okay, ministers responsible to the legislative assembly. Please write it like this, Vignesh. Okay, clear? Fine. और कोई डाउट्स हैं अगर आपके, तो यू कैन राइट इन द कमेंट्स. Fine. The break is over now. Let me resume the class. Okay. Coming back. So here we discussed few points. What happened? There was a Mudiman committee. It wanted to investigate on the issue of Dayaki. Dayaki means double rule. Okay, rule of two, in which governors and ministers used to rule and take the functionaries. But at the provincial level, the ministers were responsible, as there was a provision of no confidence motion. But at the central legislative assembly, they were not responsible, because there was no provision of no confidence motion. Clear? So we used to call all those non-official members in the legislative assembly as they had no powers, as if they are of no use. Clear? So it investigated the issue of Dayaki, which was introduced by the Government of India Act of 1919. It had 4 Indian members: Sir Sivaswamy Iyer, Dr. R.P. Paranan Jape, Sir Tej Bahadur Sapru, Muhammad Ali Jinnah. Okay, all these leaders were there. They were 4 Indian members and they wanted to investigate. So what happened in the end? They investigated things and they came to a conclusion that this Dayaki is not useful. We should have a new act. We should have some better provisions. Government also understood that Indians are unhappy, and to check the drawbacks of the Montagu Chelmsford reform, they decided to have a commission which was known as Simon Commission. But the commission was largely boycotted in India because there was no Indian member in the commission. So to decide for the Indian future and Indian constitution, Indians were never asked. And that's why Indians became unhappy, that why are you not keeping Indians in the Simon Commission? So they started a slogan of Simon Go Back. Okay, we will discuss Simon Commission later in the next class. Now there is one new chapter which we will cover: emergence of new forces, socialist ideas and trade unions. This chapter is going to be covered tomorrow. Tomorrow at 8 p.m. I'll come live again. There we will discuss. Now come to the strategy question. There was a question about the strategy of memory techniques, like how could you learn things, and so many facts are there in history, so you are not able to learn and revise and get all those terms in your mind. So what can you do to handle this situation? I'll just give you a small trick. First of all, 2 things you need to follow. One is make a timetable and add a slot of revision in it daily. Okay, 2 hours for revision, 2 hours for general studies. Okay, 2 hours for optional and 2 hours for current affair. Those of you who are not reading optional, can dedicate 2 hours for CSAT or test series. Like this, you can have a 8 hours of timetable. Daily do a revision of 2 hours. Daily, in which you should try to learn and make flowcharts, make your own notes to revise the topic from the textbooks and standard books itself. Okay. So every day you should dedicate at least 2 hours for your own revision, learning, memorizing. How will you memorize things? By reading it again and again, by making flowcharts, by revising the flowcharts, and making it without looking at the book. Read the book and then make a flowchart to remember things by your own. Follow this timetable. I gave you 4 slots: revision slot, general studies slot, optional and CSAT slot, current affairs slot. 8 hours of a daily timetable needs to be followed. Next is how to study all these topics and learn it. To learn it, there needs to be a proper plan. The plan is, first is read it from the book after watching the videos. Let's say you have watched this chapter today. Once you cover the chapter in the class, in the lesson, you become familiar with the topic. Now you already know who were Swarajists and what was non-cooperation movement. So now if you will read it in the book, you will get more interest and understanding. And it will be like a second revision for you. So it's better to read the book after the classes so that you learn the things quickly and easily. But many of you don't follow this. You have no practice of reading. Sitting and reading is very, very important. So do a part of self-study after the class itself. It will take only 15 to 20 minutes to read the chapter by yourself in the book. Once I end the session, try to read the book and underline the important points. After reading the book, try to solve the PYQs. Okay, try to see how many questions are you able to attempt. Prelims and mains also, if it is possible for you. Write a question, write a mains answer in your own words and try to practice this thing. Once you do PYQs, you will get to see a lot of wrong answers and you will see that you are lacking in something and sometimes you forget the facts. So just try to see what is challenging for you. Read those wrong answers, get the explanation, research it on the Google or get it from the book. And by reading the explanations and solutions, you will revise the facts again. After doing it, the third part is making your own notes. Try to make your own notes or revise the book again by underlining it. Both things are fine. If you don't like making notes and if you don't have a habit of writing, no worries. Don't make your notes. Just follow the book again and again. Instead of making the note, you can even revise those underlined points which you underlined in your book yourself. For the notes, I already told you that there is a book of Sunya IS. I don't see it right now around me. Let me just check. Yeah. For those of you who are not interested to make the notes of modern Indian history and spectrum, if you don't have idea to make the notes, no worries. This is a small 90 to 100 pages book, a very small book by Sunya IS which you can buy. Okay, and you can get it from the coaching center itself. This book is very, very useful and you can just simply buy this one. It will provide you all the notes, everything, and it is a part of our Brahmastra series which is there. It is getting launched. It is already there in the platform. Join it and be a part of it. So just buy this book if you don't want to make your notes, because it's a small, easy, thin book with only around 100 pages and very, very useful. These 100 pages are the notes of 1000 pages of modern Indian history standard books like Spectrum, Bipin Chandra, and so many other, modern history books, whatever you say. Very useful for prelims. Buy this one and you will be done. If you can make your notes, then very good. Go for it. It is better to what I will prefer. In place of you, if you ask me what I could have done, I will prefer making my own notes. It is time taking, but when you write by yourself, when you learn things by writing again and again, it really stucks there in your mind, which helps you in the exam. And it is good to increase the vocabulary. It is helpful in the mains answer writing practice. So I prefer making my own notes, but if you don't like, you can buy the book. Follow this strategy after the class every day. Okay, every day means every day. Once I end the session, read the chapter from your book. After doing self study, solve a PYQ, take 10 questions from the topic, buy a book of topic wise PYQ. There is a book of topic wise previous year question. Don't buy year wise book. Years like 20 years ke PYQ, 10 years ke PYQ. Don't buy that. Buy a book of PYQ topic wise. Solve it topic wise. Once you cover a topic, solve the PYQ itself on the same day and see how many wrong answers are there, wrong attempts. Read all those wrong attempts with the right solutions and explanation, and then make the notes. If you follow this strategy, you will learn everything in history. This is a ongoing process of learning. There is no single trick to give you all the dates and memorize everything. Try to hate spoon feeding. Hate it. Don't love spoon feeding. Hate your spoon feeding habit. It is not good. You should be very hardworking and स्वावलंबन. स्वावलंबन क्या कहते हैं उसको? सेल्फ डिपेंडेंट. कि स्वावलंबित बनो, अपने ऊपर डिपेंडेंट हो. Don't depend on anyone for anything in life. Otherwise you will regret. जो चाहिए खुद करके देखो, खुद बनाओ, खुद लगाओ, खुद करो, and you will be very very happy. Okay, so just hate this thing of spoon feeding. Don't try to get spoon feeded. Don't try to get bane banaye notes. Don't try to get bane banaye videos. Make your own notes, make your own strategy, do your own self study. Otherwise you won't be able to learn so many facts if you don't follow this timetable and this strategy of reading history. Clear? Any other doubts? If there are no doubts, then I'll end the session here. Fine. Atmanirbhar. Yes. For history topic wise, you can take Spectrum. Okay. Spectrum is a good book. Fine. बुक का पीडीएफ नहीं अवेलेबल हो सकता. दिस इज अ वेरी स्ट्रिक्ट थिंग विच वी फॉलो एट सून्या. बेसिकली क्या होता है कि पीडीएफ इफ प्रोवाइड हो जाती है तो पीपल दे डोंट बाय द बुक, दे डोंट बाय द कोर्सेज, दे लीक द entire content. It is a very well curated content after years of research which we have made. So we never want to leak the content like this. You know how people do it on social media, Telegram, and on other platforms. They share things on group, and then it will be of no value. So please don't devalue it. Please try to respect the hard work of the writer and author who have really worked hard to make this content for you. And making the PDFs will really leak the entire content and will be of no use. It will be just a waste of time and hard work. So try to get it from the Sonya's coaching center, or you can just simply join the Brahmastra series which is on the platform. Subscribe to it. You will get all the study materials from there. It will save two things. First of all, you will save the money and you will get all the notes. So it would be better to join it. Okay, Abhishek, as you are demanding key image runners and Xerox things, what you can do is put it in the comment box that you guys need the notes, and maybe then the Sunya team and our other teammates, if they decide to give the notes in a PDF form, they can upload it in the Telegram and they will inform you that if it could be uploaded or not. Okay, this is not in my hands. Fine, I'm really sorry for it. Now, I see no other questions. Fine. Okay, guys, so I'll just end it here. there are no more questions for today. We will cover the next chapter of this emergence of new sources, socialist ideas and the traditions. We'll do this tomorrow, in which we will see the spread of Marxist and other welfare socialistic ideas, and we will make the entire understanding of the groups, communist group, communist parties and capitalist dominating things there. So we will cover it in a very good way tomorrow, and I can see that a lot of content is there to be covered with you guys. So I think we need around 5 more days. Okay, around 5 more days to complete this book. After 5 days, we will be completely finishing it off, and then I launch the course on NCRT with you. Okay, history NCRT would be there once we cover this book. Fine. So thank you so much for coming and watching. See you then. Take care. Bye bye.